What is up, Butts and Stuff Fantasy Football League Week 2? Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Games were much better this week than last week, that's for damn sure, but not even that much better, I guess, in a way. Matchups were closer. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. My predicted game of the week was iJams and Kessler, and iJams took Kessler down 131.86 to 117.2, difference of 14. James's team was hot and cold. He had 5 players above 14 points and 11 out of the Chargers defense, but he also had 4 players at 5 points or less. iJams with another solid week all the way around. 7 players with 14 points or more. But he had less than 10 out of his quarterback. He had like 5 out of Diggs and -2 out of the Cowboys defense after putting up 20 something last week. Congratulations to iJams, moves 2-0. The actual game of the week, the Hebrew Hammer derails the Trump train by a score of 111.88 to 110.44, difference of 1.5.
I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time.
Pretty much a clusterfuck out of this game. Dan had 43 points and 4 touchdowns out of Kamara, but also had 5 players under 7 points, including 0 out of A.J. Brown, who didn't play on Monday. Lauren had great weeks out of Marvin Harrison. They started throwing him the ball. Finally had 2 touchdowns, 27 points. Devontae Adams got in the end zone, 21.5 points, and he got cute and started Kittle in a flex and got 17. But then he started Kenneth Walker, who didn't play. The tough thing about it is Dan on Monday had the opportunity to grab Mooney off the waiver wire, who got in the end zone for the Falcons, 16.3. And hell, even Ray McLeod was out there, and he got 6. So either one of those guys you could have picked up like that. Nobody's been watching them. And that would have got the dub and got the train to stay on the tracks. So there's probably going to be some turnover in that front office for Trump. I don't know. But Daddy Dan looks to get it back on track. But congratulations to Lauren. Moving on. Graham had just enough projeculation with his BBW date with Charlie, taking him down 110.44 to 99.8. That's a difference of 10.5-ish. Another dumpster fire of a game here. Graham sneaks by with the lowest points in a win for the second straight week, and he would have lost to literally anybody else in the league except Charlie and Thomas. Maybe tied Dan, but we just talked about that. He also didn't start a tight end. I don't know how hard it is to keep up. Apparently Ingram got hurt in warm-ups or something, but can't have people just not starting guys. But he must be living right. Second straight week with the lowest points and winning. Probably won't keep that up, but we'll see. Charlie got a bit unlucky. He had 3 players under 3 points, and Rachaad White got hurt, so hopefully he's going to jump back. But had Justin Jefferson with 21.3, and the Vikings taking down the 49ers, which, I mean, hey, Sammy D, can't count him out, but geez, nobody saw that coming. Biggest blowout of the week goes to Wilson. He took down Tommy's squad 122.82 to 91.9, difference of almost 31. Thomas lost that nickname of Mr. Consistency pretty damn quick. He had 6 players in single digits, including Mixon getting hurt, so hopefully he'll be back. And his best player was his kicker Fairburn with 20 points. Wilson had a pretty solid week. He had 5 players with 13 or more, A-Chain with 26, and his kicker Aubrey had 17. But Kupp went down, so we'll see how Wilson reacts to that. But that bastard's going to miss weeks and weeks again, and I drafted him in. Just anyway. last but not least, the biggest bullshit of the week award goes to our game. Troxel beat me 118.1 to 116.38. That's a difference of 1.7. I had 6 players in double figures. Best was Derrick Henry and Rashee Rice, and I'm riding that train until he goes to jail. Troxel had Tua go brain dead. Hopefully he's okay. Had 5 players in double figures and was, again, the least efficient manager for the second week in a row. And I still lost on Monday Night Football. I guess the Falcons decided that they remembered how to play football. And this was like the one rare occurrence to where like what was good for my fantasy team would have also been good for the fucking Eagles. Like they would have just, I needed 9 out of Elliott and I got 7. But if they would have just kicked the damn ball on 4th down instead of going for it, they would have won the game and I would have beat Chase and I would be able to talk shit now, but whatever. Congrats, I guess, Chase. That kind of wraps it up for the matchup wise. Best, if you were keeping up with it, was iJams. He had 131.8. The worst was Thomas with 91.9. Most efficient was also iJams. He got the 131 out of 133, so basically perfect. The worst was Troxel for the second week in a row, 118.1 out of 154. It's like, damn, if I would have just started a different running back, I could have won, but not bitter. Highest points in a loss was Kessler. That's just kind of a slap in the, I hate that award. And then Graham again, lowest points in a win, second straight week, like just not sustainable. That brings us to the records, the 2-0. The undefeateds are iJams, Wilson, and Graham. 1-1 is Tommy Squad, Troxel, Lorne, and Daddy Dan. And the 0-2s are the Snaggy Mountain Crew, Kessler, Charlie, and myself. But I got Charlie next week, so one of us is moving out. But looking ahead, kind of spoiled that. Game of the week is going to be me versus Charlie, the battle of the defeateds. So one of us is going to get out of the zeros. Next, Hebrew Hammer looks to derail his second train in a row, taking on Kessler in the pain train. We'll see if he can keep it rolling. Kessler looking for that first win. Wilson looks to stay undefeated against Troxel. If Troxel keeps up the managing like he is, he probably will stay that way. The Trump train looks to get back on the tracks, taking on undefeated Thunder Thigh Jams. iJams probably has the most consistent team so far. He's 2-0, so we'll see if he keeps it going, but Dan's looking to bounce back. And then Graham is looking to stay as lucky as possible, taking on Thomas. So we'll see if Thomas can get his team scoring more than 90 points. You only need about 111 to beat Graham, apparently, so you're not too far off. But Graham's looking to stay undefeated. That kind of wraps it up. The matchups were a lot closer this week, but still kind of shitty. We had at least 3 teams that I can think of that didn't start a player. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, not everybody can just look at it, or get hurt in warm-ups. But they were definitely closer last week. Was like each game was decided by over 20, and we had multiple within a couple points this week, so that's better. My chain came in, still waiting on the stash to grow in, so maybe Ortiz will make an appearance before too long. But that's all I got for this week. Looking forward to this week. I hope it gets better. Looking to quit fucking losing at fantasy football. But I'll see you when I see you. Have a good week.